Hello guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host Jan, here in the Stamford Bridge studio to talk about some Chelsea news. Of course, as Chelsea have been navigating a turbulent period, to say the least, a lot of journos have sparked up their interest and looked closely at Chelsea under their microscopes because they want to make, headlines, get insight, gain intel about what's happening at Stamford Bridge. And I'm going to cite segments from a couple of articles today, both from Matt Law of The Telegraph and Simon Johnson of The Athletic. Really reputable Chelsea journos, with hopefully some positive news to those of you who are of a Chelsea persuasion. So thank you for joining me, friends. I really appreciate you being with me here today on the content. You can, I was going to say thank me, but you can show that you enjoyed the content by liking the video, and subscribing should you want to do so. You're welcome to. Right, so we're going to start off with Matty Law's article in The Telegraph talking about a potential exodus, but a Chelsea clear out. Listen to this headline, and it's an exclusive from Matt. Matt still does have ins in Chelsea Football Club. Now, let's just leave it at that. So there's an exclusive. Chelsea stars face clear out threat to end the era of player power. Now, Chelsea is absolutely one of those clubs that sadly has player power engraved in its recent DNA from the Roman Abramovich era because, sort of mercenaries, let's be real, they came for money early doors, and then they were like, well, we're like a team of Galacticos, we're the reason why we win. We're like a golden generation, and yes, we need a good coach, but coaches come and go. Although sadly, that's flipped, and now you need the good coach. But in Chelsea's case, we actually need some good players now with a good mentality. But sadly, player power is something that stayed within Chelsea's DNA. And you look at somewhere like Manchester City with the best team in the land, and I don't think there's any player power there. Or certainly, I don't think Guardiola would allow that. Certainly, to Mikel Arteta's credit, he's certainly weaned that out of Arsenal, and now he's just got a bunch of young guys who want to play together and win together. #jealous. Let's jump in. Chelsea's underperforming stars are facing the fight for their futures, with the club's owners planning to overhaul the squad at the end of this era of player power at Stamford Bridge. I used to pray for days like this. While previous owner Roman Abramovich repeatedly backed Chelsea's players over his managers, the Todd Boehly Clearlake Capital ownership are desperate for head coach Potter to turn around the alarming slump and succeed. Telegraph Sport has been told that the possibility of sacking the head coach Potter has not even been discussed internally ahead of Sunday's game against Crystal Palace, but this understood Chelsea would consider a squad clear out if results and performances do not dramatically improve. They can't keep getting away with it. Breaking Bad reference-ish. Such would be the move, backed by the fans who waited for Potter outside Craven Cottage. You may have seen this, who said, don't give up, keep the faith, change the squad. They're the problem fans outside Stamford Bridge. And, I tip my hat off to that. Much respect. He needs to hear it. Say, look, it's not all negative. We see the toxicity and long-standing problems here at Stamford Bridge, or certainly a lot of football fans do. You're not the problem, Gareth. Gareth? That's my England fan coming through. Although, let's jump on that Freudian slip. I do think Gareth's a bit of the problem at England. Anyway, Graham. So this is good. Any overhaul could include signing João Félix permanently at the end of the season if the forward builds on his highly encouraging display before being sent off against Fulham. While there is also interest this month in Borussia Mönchengladbach striker Marcus Thuram and of course PSV Eindhoven winger Noni Madueke. The young England winger plays for PSV, who Chelsea have made an opening bid for about 30 million euros. Now, apparently very, very, very talented and gifted Noni, this young winger, right winger, I believe, 20 years old, England international, plays, of course, in the Eredivisie. Very technical, skillful. He's played 180 minutes this season. He's got 1 goal, so he's not a goal machine. I wonder, because he's 20, he's going to be part of this Project 2030 that the new Chelsea ownership are doing, where they've got like a board of, you know, in 7 years, the players, elite players they want to build from the ground up, you know. And again, Hutchison, Chukwuemeka, Cassidy, all the, you know, Andre Santos, the Brazilian midfielder we've just signed, he'd sort of join that crop of players. I think, who knows, if he's good enough, he'd be dropped straight in. Though these low numbers for both Marcus Thuram and Noni, because I can't pronounce his surname, there's no like elite amounts of goals there. But so Ziyech, Pulisic, and Havertz face uncertain futures, which is really, really interesting. Like, yes, I get Ziyech, he'll want to go. A lot of people will be sad to see Pulisic go, but I get it. He could be like the main man somewhere. More power to him should he do that. I'm not going to read all this because I suggest you guys go check it out. But it does reference how Jorginho looks like he's going to go, and Chelsea could actually accept interest for Cesar Azpilicueta again at the end of the season. Despite, you know, as much as we're rightfully complaining about his performances, we begged him to stay. Not you and me, but the ownership. So like, it's not his fault. He wanted to go and, like, you know, phone it in Barcelona and just chill out in La Liga. We said, no, don't leave us. I've really blocked nose. I've got hay fever, which is really, really doing my head in. Yeah, so, you know, no disrespect. But apparently Chelsea considering selling Koulibaly. And I get it, which is a shame, because remember when he scored in his debut against Tottenham, that volley, and like he looked like, you know, we were all very excited. We were all very excited, weren't we? I get it though. You know, just bring in Levi Colwill. He looks like he'll be infinitely better than Koulibaly right now. And Aubameyang makes sense, doesn't it? Like, yeah, it's never going to work. It doesn't seem like. With Havertz though, I heard Matt Law, who of course is the journalist who wrote this, speak about selling Havertz, how he'd just sell him now. And I get a lot of people are upset. A lot of people just say, yeah, he's talented, but he's too inconsistent. But as much as he wound me up in that loss to Fulham with bad decisions, it did look like João Félix unlocked something in him, you know, and he started doing one-touch combinations and stuff. It did look like João Félix was this catalyst that like powered up people around him. Sorry, I know it's gross sniffing in the mic. I do apologise for that. And, you know, none more than Kai Havertz. So maybe it'll work. He's not going to go this month. Use the rest of the season. He either, like, plays a few games with João Félix, looks a lot better, and we're like, dang, you can stay. Or he fizzles out again, and, you know, we sell him to Bayern Munich for £60 million or whatever it is. Because, of course, he plays really well for Germany in the Germany shirt. So the German fans and the German clubs will be like, yeah, we want him playing for us. And also, we've seen what he can do in the Bundesliga. You know, so we'll see what happens there. But Chelsea are looking to reduce the wage bill. Now, this is good. The Bowley Clear owners have been trying to rebalance Chelsea's wage bill since taking over the club as more players arrive. So this is interesting. Ideally, Chelsea want a first-team dressing room of players who are all on a similar basic wages with the possibility of earning lucrative bonuses for meeting personal and team goals. This is good because this is like, you know, Kai Havertz comes in, we give him 300k a week because he's just an attacker, even though he's really young. You know, a senior player like Rudiger, who was on like 60k a week, he asked for 200k, and we were like, no, because you're a defender. We don't pay defenders a lot. And ultimately, we've been, you know, really poor for that. It was a poor decision. So this will be like, look, it doesn't matter whether you're an attacker, it doesn't matter whether you're a defender, you're all going to get, if you're a first teamer, maybe you'll all get, I don't know, I'm just 180k a week. But you can make that to 300k a week if you meet your personal targets, no matter what you are. A defender, you know, a striker, and you got to play football well, mate, to get freaking paid. Chelsea have been open for offers for Ziyech for a month. Yeah, makes sense. But the club's enormous injury list means that Potter cannot afford to lose too many players and is likely to delay a bulk of attempted clear out until the summer. Indeed. That gives players such as Havertz and Pulisic, who injury ruled out any prospect of a January move, Pulisic that is, time to prove they are worth keeping. But the impending arrival of Christopher Nkunku and the loan signing of Felix have placed big question marks on their futures. Chelsea are optimistic of agreeing new contracts for the midfielders of Kante and Mount. They want to keep both, but there's no progress on Jorginho. He's expected to leave. And Chelsea are still looking for midfielders in the January transfer window. Caicedo of Brighton remain targets. They are, don't get excited, but they are still talking to Benfica, reportedly, for Enzo Fernandez. And although the Benfica managers waved us away, it's the middle of January now as well, so they haven't got much time to have a replacement. Maybe they've signed a midfielder actually, but still, I don't know. Yes, it's very, very, very tricky to get Enzo Fernandez in now. I doubt we will. Also, Aubameyang can only play for 2 clubs in one season, Chelsea and Barcelona. Barcelona reportedly would love to have Aubameyang back, but for a free transfer. So it'd be literally a case of getting his wages off our books and it's getting our wages off our books and also making a squad space. Nizar Kinsella highlighted how if after João Félix we've still only got one senior over 21 slot left, so not either winger would be 20 to go under, but in terms of a senior we'd get one left, which is tricky. So maybe we'd want to get Aubameyang off the squad, but we bought him for 12 million euros, I believe, from Barcelona literally a few months ago, so they'll be laughing. We literally just gave him 12 million euros for nothing, for just holding Aubameyang for a bit, and he didn't get injured. In fact, we rehabilitated his face from we did some medical services for you and gave you 12 million. Might as well pull our trousers down. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next article. Leave your thoughts down below on everything I've spoken about there. Right, jumping over to The Athletic, an article. It's a long read. I'm only going to do a segment by Simon Johnson. He goes into the scenario of the difficulties of Chelsea's season, or Chelsea's current stint under Graham Potter. Now, I'm going to spare you. I'm going to spare you about that. And do where hopefully where the story turns, or the optimism. So we're going to jump into that now. So imagine negative. We all know that. And then, despite all these teething troubles, Chelsea remain excited about what can be achieved in the years to come. They feel the club lacked a proper structure when they arrived, so this is the new ownership, of course, and they are eagerly rebuilding and investing in youth. That is why Christopher Favell, technical director, and Win Stanley, director of global talent and transfers, have been hired, with Joe Shields, co-director of recruitment and talent, and Lawrence Stewart, technical director with a global focus. What the hell is this nonsense? I mean, fair play. I asked for this. I just don't understand most of it. Both also are set to officially begin their roles next month, the latter two of the four. Potter's trusted recruitment aide from Brighton, Kyle McCauley, also moved with him in September as part of a revamp, with Academy Director Neil Bath, who's the genius behind Cobham, has been promoted to Director of Football Development and Operations. And that's one of the big wins, I think, for the new Chelsea ownership. Really, really good work from them there, because he's well respected in all football, well, English football at least. Stewart, who joined from Monaco, has yet to start, but the others are all in place. The idea of Chelsea's transfer business is to be driven by a collaborative approach, with everybody boasting a say. So every opinion counts within this think tank. But one agent close to one of the senior players, again granted anonymity to protect relationships, claim there are already teething problems with individuals obviously campaigning for the player to recommend to be signed. Quote, "How are you going to feel if your choice isn't selected and someone else's is? There is egos in football." Here we go. We've gone from player power to technical director power. There is no hierarchy in place among them, which means everyone is going to feel they're in a position of influence. That is true. I haven't even considered that. That's wild. The funnel is for everything to go towards Todd and Badad. Yeah, as long as there's we're the bosses. We're paying you. You have the opportunity to do your work, which you should be excited about. Well funded, by the way. With the idea that we're going to build something excellent together, which they will. They, despite maybe a conflict in certain opinions, they'll see the team of Brazilians and Europeans, teenagers that Chelsea are building, and they'll be like, "This is what we're into. This is our sort of careers, So everything will be funneled between Todd and Badad. Everyone is going to try and get their attention because they make the final decision. Todd, sign my guy. Bowley and Iqbali have played such an active role in the market up to now, building relationships with clubs and player representatives that they will inevitably still be seen as the men to go to. The agent close to this senior player continued. He said, "If I want to talk to my player, I will call Todd and talk about my player. I will call Todd and Badad. They're the ones who make the ultimate decisions. If I go through the other guys," this is interesting, "they will still talk to those to find. Basically, they'll still talk up." It's actually really insightful. I respect those who they've hired, but I want to go to the decision makers. I can see other agents doing the same, so how will that make a new recruitment team feel? It's really interesting. There's also a possibility of people who need to talk to them don't like what they hear or go to Todd and Dad. Basically just going to mum and dad, innit? You're arguing amongst yourselves. I'm telling. It's going to be hard for Todd and Badad to take a step back, but I appreciate it's early days. This is true. It's early doors, and yes, you're right. Everyone's right to be cynical and skeptical about all things in football, but the intentions are there, and if they want to build something together, and if they do respect each other, which you would imagine they would, then you make it work. I mean, ultimately, it's like an office where you all got to reach a quota. You're trying to reach some sort of numbers or a target and develop the brand or clients, whatever industry you're working in. You have to be collaborative. This might be new in football because this kind of think tank is pretty novel or whatever, but there's no reason why it can't work, though I understand the concerns. So, I was just going to do a Fabrizio Romano there. I don't know if you watch his YouTube channel. And so, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Well, I probably shouldn't do a Spanish accent because it'd probably be deemed problematic. So on that, I'm going to end the video. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon here on the channel. Take care. Peace.